All right, it is April 29th, 7:04. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Tiffany Nimpius, Mindy Bone, Tom Bath, Dean Murray, and Greg Fox. Board members not in attendance are David Stout and Steve Babineau. And before we get started, if I could ask all of you guys to make sure you speak into the microphone as we go through, that would be great. Thank you. Do we have any citizens' presentations tonight?
No.
Okay, so we're going to move right into our regular session, and item 1, consider and take action regarding the approval of the Parks Board minutes dated March 8th. Did everybody get a chance to approve that? Any changes?
Tiffany, it's Tom. I'm taking a look at the page 3 in that last paragraph, where it says next meeting will be in November and should be in person at Town Hall. I think someone did a cut and paste and got a little carried away.
Correct, that probably did not get changed, so we will get that fixed. Otherwise, with the content, does anybody have any changes? All right, do I have a motion to approve with the change of the date?
Motion to approve. No second.
All right, motion to approve, Dean Murray, second Greg Fox, all in favor? It is unanimous. All right, do we have any parks updates?
Yes, we do. Well, Caitlin will go first and I'll go second.
So just an update on the winter storm damage. All of the fill lines have been replaced. The backwash valves for the competition pool are fixed. And then our kiddie pool filter just came in. We expect to have that installed by next week. Our capital improvement projects, our diving board, it came in and it isn't already installed. Our guard stand and our starting blocks are ordered. We're expected to have those before opening for the season. Our UV system repairs are complete. The glass, changing from the sand to glass media in the competition pool is complete. The kiddie pool will be complete once we have that new filter. We're still on track to open on May 29th. Swim team is going to happen this year. A few updates from TAF. Instead of doing 4 circuit meets, they're going to do 3. They will still have regions and state. State will take place in Corpus Christi. Swim lessons is right on track. We're working on finishing up certifying our swim instructors for this year. They will be Red Cross instructors through for Learn to Swim. And then our seasonal staff positions for the pool are all filled. For summer camp, we're still looking for a couple of counselors. We're working on some promotional pieces for Trophy Club Park. We're still finalizing some things for 4th of July, such as our 5K run, our parade. We have pledged $9,000 in sponsorships already for our 4th of July. And our goat yoga is going to start back up towards the end of May.
Any damage from the storm last night?
No, just a lot of water.
Grass is greener.
All right, we'll move on to item 2 then. Discuss and provide recommendations on making community pool available to those residing outside of Trophy Club.
Can I just real quickly give an update on the park side?
Oh,
if you don't mind,
yes.
please. That's okay. And speaking on the winter storm damage, you'll notice, and you may get some calls or emails out there about the dead shrubs on the medians. Those are already in place to be removed. So staff started that last week. So it's going to be a little bit of a slow process, being that there's so many out there. But that process has begun. I am still working on the details for the sports agreements, so I'll be bringing that to the board here pretty soon. We're putting in the final touches on that as well. So,
When you say sports agreements, you mean outside organizations that want to enter into some sort of a financial relationship?
no, it's the exclusive agreements that we have with the Trophy Club Roanoke Youth Baseball Association in town and Greater Northwest Soccer Association as well.
Got it.
So there's that. Yes, sir.
Football. What about the football?
Football, same thing.
Okay.
So all three agreements will be
All three,
updated.
okay.
Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. And I just want to inform you guys that the Keep Trophy Club Beautiful. We won that award 2 weeks ago. And there's a big special thanks to Keep Trophy Club Wild, Trophy Club Rotary, and the Byron Nelson Environmental Club, and of course our Parks and Recreation staff. It's an excellence award from the Governor's Achievement Awards to the Texas communities for outstanding overall efforts to keep their communities beautiful. So that was awarded to us 2 weeks ago, so we're excited about that. It's good, thank you. Good, great award to win. That concludes my updates. If I have any questions, further questions? Okay.
Any news on the consultant in those pickleball courts?
Yes, we're on the work. I did an update Tuesday of this week to council, so I'm going to give a second final discussion for them on either the last meeting in May or the first one in June.
So we're going to move on to input on community pool. And this should have, with the subcommittee that was created in the March meeting, that should have been discussed. So I'm looking at Mindy and Dean were part of that. So if you guys want to pitch in here with what you guys talked about.
So we looked at different revenues, all the park revenues, specifically looking at the pool. Which Tony's got a spreadsheet to show you what would need to be the economic impact. Because back in 2015, it was open to both. We made the decision to close it to the outside, only open for Trophy Club residents. And he's got a spreadsheet that shows what happened when we did that. And then as you move forward into 2021, it gets worse because there's a 600% increase in pools and TrophyClub, and we believe that the revenue's going to decrease even worse. Meanwhile, as expenses around the pool are gone up, it's still increasing. So the thought would be that we would open it up, stop me if I'm wrong, Tony, that we would open it up to the outside non-residents, charge them a higher fee to come in than Trophy Club residents, and bring back some of that revenue. We won't get back to where we were in 15, but we could make a lot of progress to get back half that. It might help out, cash flow.
Yeah, it does show a gradual decline since we went resident only, and I think with the influx of people building pools, I don't foresee that getting any better. Do you guys, anybody else have any input or thought?
I think they'll be mostly repairing the pools over this year.
Well, aside from that, we're talking about like turnout at the community pool. Do we see any sort of improvement in turnout at the pool?
Depends on what's the capacity.
So well, last year it varied, right? So we won't do 2021. That's or 2021 or 2020. It's not really. Last year was a pandemic. What's the capacity for?
I think around between 650 and 700.
Okay, so there's between 600 and
Are we
700
at
people.
100% or 75%?
We're at 100 now. We're at 100 right now as we speak.
So
Yes.
we're operating at 100%, but we're not getting 700 people at a time.
Right.
Correct. And just for the record, I want to mention, we're not tied or married to any options out there, right? Our job as staff is to present the facts and let you guys, see what you guys want to do. How do you want to move forward? I do want to point out just a couple things. And if you can tell, the 2017 expenditure line, for instance, almost $220,000 was spent, right? Well, you can see the big difference between both, right? If you compare that to the revenue line at the top. Even in 2014, we almost brought in $193,000. There's several options to do this. There's different ways to do it. We're not tied to anything. But if we did bring extra revenue in, the pool can almost pay for itself, right? We have to deal with inflation. I'm just bringing facts again, and what options there are to bring that extra revenue. The other option is to go non-residents and do holidays and weekends, or holiday weekends just for Trophy Club residents only. There's different ways to do this, right? We can do full-blown non-residents and scale back if needed, if that becomes an issue. I think it'd be difficult to start from the bottom up, but that's just, again, I'm not tied to any of these decisions, or I'm not saying one way is better than the other. But the numbers speak for themselves at the end of the day. So that's my job, is to let you guys know where we're at and then just take a recommendation.
So I think the biggest change that could potentially come from this discussion right now is, do we open it up to non-resident? Yes or no? Or, I should say yes or no. Yes with parameters, or no?
I think the only parameter you need is what he said. July
For
4th,
holidays?
Memorial Day weekend, cheaper for Trophy Club residents. It was probably cheap trip on those days. Outside of that, I just don't see it. And the way to control the outside would be just incrementally raise the rate when they stop to slow the roll. Just economics, right? Start out with $5 or $10 and you just keep lifting until they stop coming.
Let me throw out another option. Another option is, so the pool is almost 25 years old. All right, so it's getting older. We've dealt with a really significant leak 2 years ago. Almost we had to postpone the opening of the pool because of it. So luckily we didn't. Another option would be a study at some point, near the future, whether it's this fiscal year or next fiscal year, after see what demands the Trophy Club needs. Please keep in mind we still have swim team out there that go yearly, very popular program within Trophy Club. So the competition pool, from what we've witnessed, is a very much needed amenity to Trophy Club. Not only from swim team, but we have something new that, and I'll let Caitlin speak on this a little bit more, but we're doing senior water aerobics this season, lap swim for our residents and whatnot. So there's different ways that we're trying to be strategically bringing in extra revenue. I strongly believe that if we do bring non-residents into the pool, will eventually pay itself off in a year and season. But again, we can skin this every different ways.
Quick, can we measure the participation by residents and non-residents, so we can take a look at this and say, here's the resident contribution, here's the non-resident?
So that's what this thing in front of us, that's essentially what that is. So yes, going forward, we can try to track that, but do we want to put ourselves out there to track it? Do we say, yes, we will allow non-residents entry at X amount, residential entry at X amount, or, because a lot of people loved when it went resident only. It really kind of decreased the turnout there, which provided for more seating and more shade and more space, which was nice. But now we're at the point where so many residents have pools that you go there and it's almost a ghost town, but we're paying lifeguards and other staff involved to the point where it's almost like, what are we going to do to increase the turnout?
I think you'll also see a residual effect from the pandemic, whereby there's going to be a lot of parents who are going to be a little cautious about bringing especially the small kids on over to the pool. So I'll go with your thoughts. Let's open it up. Let's measure it. And even the holidays, but put a premium on resident access during the holidays.
Let me kind of give a little history on the holidays. So 4th of July is naturally the one we all go to. And even this past 4th of July, I believe it was opened for everybody. Or it definitely was the year before. And holy moly, it was crowded. I definitely think that these residents, their tax dollars go towards this pool, and the 4th of July is a special day where people want to hang out. All the activities are right there by it, fireworks are right there by it. They deserve primary access to that pool. I think making it resident only on the holidays is a fantastic idea, and I think a win for the entire season.
As long as we publish it and everybody,
Absolutely.
the expectations are there.
Here's another option. Let me help out if you don't mind a little bit. So the other option, I don't want to get stuck too much on just non-residents, right? So the other two options is we don't open it up to non-residents and we raise the fees to our residents, right? That's one option. And that's fine, right? The third option is we leave it as is. At the end of the day.
I think leaving it as is, based on these years, even if you take 2020 out, is not a good idea.
So when we first started our subcommittee, I was against it. You and I were both around whenever we cut off the non-residents from coming in. So I was like, nope, we were talking about just opening it up to Beck, Medlin, and Byron kids. generate a little bit more revenue. But once we were presented with these numbers and looking at 2015 numbers compared to 2019, it's a huge difference. And then on top of that, we had to factor in how many pools were built last year.
That's the big one.
And Trophy Club might not be coming, but being able to cater to them on holidays, I think would be kind of a cushion for this change. You know, people don't like change, I get it. But the numbers changed my mind. So for someone that was against it, seeing those numbers, I just don't see how we can keep moving forward with the numbers going down like they are and the cost of everything going up.
Well, the fact is the number of pools being built right now that's the factor.
Right.
The Trophy Club's built out, everyone's getting pools.
Right.
It's overloaded, because I'm tied into the development industry.
Right.
And the pool builders they're overwhelmed right now, the Trophy Club. So everyone's getting a pool, and that's actually what I go back to, is I don't think it's gonna get better.
Right.
So the thing about the pools is, one pool takes on 8, 10 residents.
Right.
Because that now becomes that neighborhood's community pool, right? Every kid ends up, so it's not like you need 7,000 pools. You need 1,000 pools. That's everybody in Trophy Club has a pool because now. You either have one or your neighbor has one, but you're going there, right? So,
Yeah, I'm for it, I'm honestly,
So, okay, so we want to open it up to non-residents, and then we can move forward to the fee discussion in a minute.
motion separately.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to open the pool up to non-residents. Make a recommendation.
Second with a caveat.
With the
is
holidays.
With the holidays.
Yes.
Leave the holidays closed first.
All right, so let me rephrase this. Make a motion to open the community pool to non-residents with the exception of holidays. That remains resident only.
Second.
All right, all in favor? It is unanimous.
So for those of you who didn't live here back, and when did they start charging for the pool?
Charging for the pool, that would have been a while.
No, it used to be free when I got
I
here.
remember.
And the council chambers filled with residents, and we raised, put it to $2 or something like that.
Is that when the pool is out in front where the development is now?
No, it's where it is now, but it used to be free. And the whole council chambers filled up with residents when they announced that they were putting in a pool fee to residents. So, if we start talking about fees, I think we should look to the outside for any incremental increase and not touch the residents' fee.
I agree with that too.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to, provide an update on the parks and recreation schedule. So this might have, you have several slides.
Did you move on to the number 3?
Okay, we're moving on to number 3.
So that's, you have these copies in front of you.
All right, so, again, Mickey, we're gonna lean on you guys for what was discussed in the subcommittee.
Okay. So this, on your screen, you'll notice Trophy Club Park, and you have a hard copy there in front of you too. What we did is we included all the fees that are involved with Trophy Club Park and the entry fee. So I'll use the current and the updated green column. You'll notice that at the bottom you've got $2, and what we did, the first column is what's currently being charged, and then we did a mock of what potentially the revenue can be if we increase the fees. So we'll use general entry fee, for instance. At the 2019 resident, at $2, we made $3,869. Well, if we were to charge increase for non-residents, that revenue increased, and you'll see the second column by a significant amount. So this is leaving the fees, all the general entry fees, the same for Trophy Club residents, but increasing it for non-residents only. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
it took me a minute to process through where everything is at, but yeah, I think I'm there
Yeah.
now.
No, I got it, yeah.
Did you, how does this compare to area parks?
We did a study, so we compared to 10 other parks that are similar to Trophy Club Park that didn't offer motocross. And in the boat, we compare that to over in the City of Grapevine Parks and Recreation. They still do a $5 launch for their boats. But so we did equestrian trail. We left the same. There's really not a whole lot of comparisons that I can get out there. They're a really good group to work with, and they've been very helpful and loyal in the past years. So, but we can discuss that if needed. Motocross, same thing. So with motocross, what we did is we left the $15 fee for motocross bikes for Trophy Club residents, and then we raised it to $20 per bike for non-residents.
How many other parks in the area have motocross available?
Not in the area. It's really more within 50 to 100 mile radius.
So we have some wiggle room in that.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a big one. I know, people plan on Chris Kelly come down to Marshall Creek to do their motocross.
So that's what we're currently charging. Take this to the council for a recommendation, and leave the resident fees alone, and non-residents increase it. Any questions on Trophy Club Park?
How do we oversee this?
Well, on Monday through Thursday, it's really through the honor system. On Fridays, we have staff there from 12 o'clock to 8, here coming soon, and it's open from 8 to 8 on Saturday and Sunday. So we have somebody at the guard shack collecting the fees.
So realistically speaking, we're probably losing a lot because of this honor system.
Possibly. I mean, we do have reports that show that there significant amount of non-residents do enter the park, especially with motocross. Our PD does spot checks every once in a while, especially on weekends, and they'll check their dashboards to see if their tickets match up. We do occasionally catch folks trying to sneak in, but we deal with that accordingly. But to your point, yes, there's probably some folks that
So what would it take for us to put somebody at that entry to really collect those fees?
Sure. Well, we would have to really watch our budget, right? The park doesn't, it varies, because when it rains a lot, we have to close it down. And then, so we have to, it's hard to promise someone 20, 30 hours a week and then say, well, not this week because it rained too much or it's closed. And then, so it's hard to fill that position. It would have to be a steady part-time position.
We don't have like really big cameras on the gate. But I tell you, a couple of cameras up in the corners that keeps everybody honest.
Big Brother has an effect.
It does. I mean, they don't know that
Right.
you're monitoring, not monitoring, but they see that camera. And I'm not talking the little one, I mean the proper one, like intersection cameras.
Yeah.
And that would probably increase your revenues as they see that they got the license plate, they didn't pay, they went in.
Yeah, we're actually putting that in our next year's budget for replacement to do that.
Well, you don't need a camera, you just need the case for the camera.
That's right.
Seriously,
It's
he's
not a
right.
right-handed camera.
They just need the box that the camera goes in. And especially at a sign that says, videotaping in progress or whatever, people are a little less likely to cheat.
So did you guys discuss these resident, non-resident fees? Do you think $20 for a non-resident motocross is there, or can we bump it to 25?
I think it's baby steps, they're gonna complain if you go too long.
Think so?
I'll bet, most of the motocross users non-residents.
Yes.
But if 50 miles the other direction is how far they have to go, and it's gonna be 25 or 30 bucks there.
I think 25 would be more appropriate, to be honest. I think they'll pay it still.
What are they paying elsewhere?
I'm sorry.
Like,
Uh,
where
be-
else can they go and what are they paying?
They're paying between 25 to up to 40.
Okay, so we can do 25
Yes.
easy. I think we should make it a
I
little higher.
recommend it, yeah. Try 20 this year, maybe 25 next year. Let's do
I
the
disagree. I
extra
think we
step.
need to do 25 this year and stick with it.
It's
What
one of the
happens
better
if we don't?
tracks.
I agree.
Yeah.
What happens if we don't?
You use $5 for every entry.
And at the bottom line, how does that affect the Parks and Rec budget or funding or?
Well, I mean, if you just do the math.
Well, the park's self-sustained, so the more revenue it brings in, the better improvements we can make out
It's
there.
icing on the cake.
Correct, yes, sir.
Supply demand.
It's
Yeah,
icing.
It's just
I
supply
think there's
demand.
probably a better, there's a better way, probably. Take the 25 on the weekends and leave it at this 20 or during the week.
That's a great idea. That's what the golf courses all do. They're
No,
the price.
somebody wants to, he's worried about the $25 and he just comes Wednesday instead, because he's worried about, he don't care what day of the week he rides, he doesn't have a job, so he comes here on Wednesday, but if he's on the weekend, he doesn't mind paying extra.
It's the weekend that only
You know,
so
at that
much.
point, honestly, I would say don't put that.
Can Civic do that?
20 during the week,
Civic.
whatever.
But I meant
can do
incrementally,
that.
prices.
Just like the golf courses. I mean, you're right. Trophy Golf Course, they're a 20% increase on the weekend versus weekend.
How difficult would that be to implement?
We can implement it in our new software that we just purchased, but, you know, if you go that route, then it's too, I like your idea. I would probably do 25-30 if that's the case, you know.
25 during the week and 30 on the weekends?
That's just my,
I think it's sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's, yeah, well, we get a lot more.
I mean, motocross is something that we have that others don't. Why should we not try to capitalize on it?
Leverage it.
Yeah.
Agreed. I completely agree.
Again, we have the software to track
Yes, sir.
usage and
Yes.
break down demand.
Absolutely.
Supply demand.
Yes, sir.
There are not other motocross campuses around anywhere.
What do you charge for the annual pass for motocross?
$130.
Would we increase that as well?
Yes, we would increase it accordingly to match what we're charging here, absolutely.
Some percentage basis.
So,
Yes.
okay, so I feel like 25 and 30 is a great thing, but I think that's just more with the time, if you will. Inflation sucks for everybody. The boat fees, I see that didn't change at all.
Let's see. It changed, so for residents, it's not going to change, but for non-residents, it would change, it would go up to $10.
Okay, so I see current is 10 and updated is 10.
That was a mistake.
Okay, so that's what I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
okay, so I'm
Yeah.
like, I see the
Yeah,
same.
no, it would go up to 10.
Okay, so it's currently for non-residents, it's also 5.
It's also 5,
That's to 10.
yes.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
We discussed the kayaks too. What, are we doing that as boat?
We can implement the kayaks as well as a boat, but if a car ties down their kayak on their car, it's hard to argue that they need
It's
a,
not trailers.
yeah,
You can do that.
they'll pay just a general entry fee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can-
Yeah, just drop it in the water.
All right, does anybody else have any input with these numbers?
Do we need a motion on this general increase?
We need to make a recommendation to council with the changes in the fees, yes.
Just as written, as discussed.
As discussed, and please mention that the resident fees will stay the same, not to be increased.
So it's $25 during the week, $30 on the weekend.
Do the whole thing. The changes, all changes as presented by Tony.
Yes, all changes presented by Tony, $25, $30, and then
Hold on.
the.
Let me help you out. I'll make a motion to recommend to council to implement the fees in this chart with the change of the motocross non-resident fees becoming $25 for the week, 30 for the weekend. Do I have a second?
A second.
Mindy second. All in favor? That is unanimous.
I make a motion to
Okay, so, awesome job, guys. This is exciting. It's changed. Some people aren't gonna like it, some people are gonna love it. So we do. Yeah. Does anybody have any future agenda items?
Do you want to meet next month, or do you want to wait to 2 months from today?
Well, I'm getting a lot of questions on the fees from the football, baseball, soccer association on what their fees are going to raise, so I think we need to meet next month.
Do you want to meet with the committee like we did last time?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
Yes, I would like to meet next month and we get that update on the sports agreements.
Okay, sure. Let me give you a little bit of an update on that, just so you're aware. So, staff is going to try, just attempting to take over the sponsorship program that's currently in place with the Trophy Club Roanoke Youth Association. So once we get that implemented, I'll give you guys more of an update at that next meeting, hopefully, if not, before. So I'll hope to have that with me by our next meeting. I'll schedule something with the subcommittee as well for as an update as well, so we can bring anything that we bring up, decide to the board by then. So just wanted to give you an update on that.
I think we should kind of hash it out one association at a time, just like we just did.
Okay.
They should all be the same, essentially, maybe some minor tweaks here and there, but we'll discuss each association separately.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything to add? I think it's May 17th. That would be May 17th.
All good here.
All right, if nobody else has anything else, 7:35, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.